What's up, my people? We're doing another segment. You can see here talking about Mikey's health, and we're talking about Errol Spence's greatness. On the night of the fight, I listened to Leonard Ellaby, Derek James, and they were saying that they thought Mikey was taking unnecessary punishment, and they were talking about a moral victory that Mikey got, and it wasn't worth it. I don't agree with that at all. Again, maybe these guys were hearing shots cracked on Mikey, but I don't know if they knew where it was placed. And according to Robert Garcia and Peter, Mikey's cool. He don't even have any scars on him. I think Ellie Seckback said that too. And Mikey said he's not even feeling sore the day after and so on. So I just want to honestly want to express my opinion that I think that these guys are, again, I think they're overthinking certain things. I was surprised that Derek James thought that Mikey was tough. I think maybe mentally tough because he was saying that Mikey kept coming up to the final round. He kept coming and he was pumping his fist at the end of the fight. Um, and I think Mikey, obviously, is a true champion. So I wanted to talk on that. Now, there's a number of people, again, in social media. I'm amazed at these social media people and the comments that they're making. I mean, it's really amazing me. Gambino. Gambino is a dude that I, again, respect. Generally, he's on point with his boxing. And Gambino comes out. What's up with this, Gambino? Somebody get this to Gambino. Gambino, you saying Mikey's a boring fighter? So wait. Hold on. Hold up, Gambino. Hold up. I thought knockouts was exciting. So Guillermo Rigondeaux's a boring fighter then? I mean, come on now. You can't be doing that. Now, Gambino made a point, which I don't agree with, but I see where he's coming from, which was that he said Mikey wasn't being first a lot of the time. He was sitting back, waiting to counterpunch Errol Spence. Actually, Gambino, I don't agree with that because the second round, he wasn't sitting back. He was throwing his jab, coming at Errol, and he was trying to do it rounds after. But I would say this, Errol was doing something that changed it all up. So, all right, I'm going to demonstrate. This. By the way, those of you who want to understand how to get past the jab, using Eric Bradley suggests one way. There's many different ways to get past the jab. Okay, there's many different ways. But one of the ways to get past the jab is using the peekaboo defense. And I suggest you guys check out how to deal with a long jab or a taller fighter. Eric Bradley, just type in Eric Bradley. You'll get his YouTube page, and then the Fight Doctor, and then go see how he does it using the peekaboo defense, where you slip the jab. Now you can do it two ways. You can. Let me go into southpaw stance. I'm sorry. So the jab's coming this way, okay? So in the southpaw stance, you can drop levels if you want to. It's up to you, really. I don't care what you do. But you can snap back off the jab. I can snap back off the jab this way. All right? And then come down the line this way. So I can snap back. The jab is coming at me here. And then come here. And then I can come along this line, all right? That'll be on the inside of the jab, which means the power hand, if the guy's a southpaw, his power hand is going to be here. I'm sorry. If the guy's a southpaw, his power hand will be, yes, he'll be here. Okay? So if I go inside of the jab, I can snap back and go inside of the jab and counter. Peekaboo is I counter the jab, and I come here. Ooh, ooh, roll under, boop, boop. Okay? You couldn't see what I just did. All right? I can't execute that very well, but I understand the idea. The jab's coming. I slip it to the inside, and I counter here. Huh, huh. I counter over it. Huh, huh, huh. I roll under. Huh. You can't see me roll under. Okay, I'm going to go further back. So here it is. The jab's coming this way. So here it is. I'm a southpaw because I'm under southpaw stance. The jab's coming this way, coming at me this way. So I slip it, I counter it, and I come here, huh, and then I roll under the jab, and I continue, huh, huh, huh. Okay, I can roll under. As I roll under, you notice I pivot. I pivot off the front foot, huh, and I come in, huh, huh, huh. I can come up top, boop, boop, boop. Right. Okay, so that's one of the ways to. And that's with peekaboo. You could also slip it with a peekaboo, literally the double guard. I might have to square up a bit. So here comes the jab. Huh. All right. Come here. Huh. Roll in. Huh. And while I'm rolling in, this way I go. Huh. 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 Okay. I come off the pivot, so I get a T angle on the guy. Watch it again. Double guard. Huh. 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 So I'm at the side. Huh. 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 All right. Okay. So that's another way of doing it. But the idea is Errol Spence, when he was throwing the jab, he's in the southpaw stance. He is southpaw. He throw the jab, okay, huh, but then he don't just stay there. He throw and he pivot. Huh, huh. Or he throw, and if you're coming in this way, he head control you and pivot. Or he stick the jab out, head control you, and pivot. Okay? So that will nullify, a taller guy can nullify your attack that way, because as you come in, and I can catch you with an uppercut here, huh, or I can catch you with a straight left, huh. All right? So it depends on what you're doing. Now, while you want to be quick and explosive, you also want to have the right timing. You want to have the right distance. So you have to be watching your opponent as you're doing these different things. And the other thing I will say, because there's many different ways to do this, okay? So, like I said, you can use the peekaboo, roll under, huh, 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 right? You can, like everybody did, you can counter over it, huh, right? Huh, 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 right? Or if you want to, I know you didn't see me there. Or if you wanted to, snap back foot is loaded at a spring load. So I go, when the jab comes, I spring load, ha, 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 ho, ha, ha, right? Or you can do this. So the jab is coming again. Manny Pacquiao does this one. And you can actually, you're going low to this time, pivot this way. So the jab is coming this way, and I do this instead. Ha! Right? Ha! Now that's strong side. So this power hand, if he's a southpaw, this power hand can come and try and hit you. But because you stay low, you more than likely going to go past it. All right? So you go by the power hand side. Or you go weak side. Weak side. So he's throwing the jab, and instead I decide I'm going to go outside of the jab. All right? So he goes, this is it coming down here. And instead, what do? I go outside of the jab. Huh. And I have to pivot. So I'll shuffle and pivot. It's a little bit more work. Okay? And you can counter straight down the middle outside of the jab. So here I am. Ha! Huh. There's a pivot here. I catch him with the straight right. Whop. That's kind of Marcos Madonna style. Whop. Okay? I'm a southpaw. But instead, I'm going to shift. Ooh. Load up. Hit you there. Or I can use my own jab. Slip it. Like Canelo. Boom. Alright? So there are many different ways you can go about it. Power hand has more power though. So I can catch you with my jab by slipping to the outside and in you. I'll have to shift my stance for that one. Alright? Alright. As I said before, Errol also can shift his stance. Errol can shift his stance, so it's not just what you think it is. All right, so moving on a little bit more. So I was telling you guys, Eric Bradley, the fight doctor, you really need to check him out because what he does is shows you nice execution how to deal with jabs and stuff. There's many different ways to deal with a jab. One of the ways to deal with a jab is by using a feint. I'll offset your opponent, draw the jab, so you know he's coming with a jab, especially the guy who likes to jab. He's coming with a jab, and then from there, all you have to do is counter it. So you can elicit the draw of the jab. Mikey Garcia had some success with that when he feinted Errol Spence, because now he makes Errol Spence come through with offense. And off the offense, he could surprise him. He didn't do it enough because he was busy being occupied by the assault that Errol Spence was doing, so he had to defend all those shots. So like I said, saying to you, if a guy is coming at you, right? This is what I was trying to explain. Defense, right? You put your 2 guard up, and you catch the shots down here. Try to roll it. Right? That's what instead of just catching it here, I catch it and I roll it. All right? And here's another thing. Because you can catch them all here, whoop, whoop, right? And you're not keeping your guard so hard that your hand can't get knocked back. Because that's what people get a lot hurt in their arms and stuff. Peterson used to do that. You're not a tough guy. You're trying to do something to offset the offense of the other guy. You understand? That's the trick with boxing. And you are still looking to catch and shoot. I saw Mikey catch and shoot Errol Spence a couple times. It was beautiful stuff. Errol Spence had to at least step back, reset a little bit, and come back in. Right? Because he's trying to dog Garcia, and then Garcia just beat him with a good shot, and then started landing that lead right. So you see, Errol Spence was inside trying to work Garcia's body, and Garcia would go with the shot. He rolled this way and come back with a check hook. Whoop. And then Errol didn't pay attention. Right cross. Ha! Right? And then Errol step back, go back to the center of the ring. Garcia would push him back to the center of the ring. Right? So, yeah, Gambino was saying that Mikey was waiting on Errol. That wasn't always true. And we saw Mikey initiate a number of things, but in the process, Errol was able to counterpunch Mikey sometimes. So that was the brilliant part about it. And I heard Derek James talking about how he wanted Errol to be shorter than Mikey, keep lower in his stance, because Mikey's a little bit taller in his stance. It's somewhere up here, right? Mikey's more up here in his stance, right? But here's the other thing. The other thing that I think a lot of people didn't realize, and was one of the things that made Errol beat Mikey, was Mikey, he had success one time, but he didn't want to do it again because I guess he was being very cautious. Mikey was coming in, sometimes with leaping left hooks, sometimes he would shuffle in, change the angle just slightly on Errol so he could get on the inside to land that left hook. Mikey was pushing Errol back to the ropes at a certain point in time, and then he would catch him with body shots. Not many, just like 1 or 2. He would throw a whole bunch, and Errol would roll those, and he'd get the body shot in. The key here is, and I don't care what anybody says, Mikey hit hella hard. You don't have Errol won't back off of you if you ain't cracking. And Mikey made Errol back off of him a couple times and pushed Errol to the center of the ring. Sometimes even pushed Errol to the ropes to get him, which I wished Mikey had sort of been a little bit more tenacious with that. Like I said, if you're gonna face a guy that's outboxing you, he's outboxing you. You have to use brute force on that dude. You're going to have to push him back. Canelo versus Aristotle Aguilar. Canelo versus Golovkin. Right? And there's ways to push a fighter back. It doesn't matter. And you saw Mikey was pushing Errol back. Nobody could stop. You couldn't stop Mikey from pushing Errol back. And the reason being, he has the capacity to do so. Even though he is physically the smaller guy. Physically, he's the smaller guy. He's a welterweight, but he's a smaller welterweight. Errol's the bigger welterweight. Right? Just like how Canelo, when he just came into middleweight, he was a smaller middleweight, right? There's no reason why a smaller middleweight should push a bigger middleweight back. I'm talking about when they're inside in the trenches with each other, right? But what I like about Errol is when Errol realized that Mikey had position on him because he's a shorter guy, and see your height can work for you. Being a shorter guy means you punch upwards, and it's hard to defend a shot that's coming up at you. It's a lot more energy to throw the shot up, right? But it's this guy, he can't fend you off like that. So that's why Derek James was saying he wanted Errol to be actually shorter than Mikey at times, especially in the pocket. Errol was getting some shots off, but most of them were being blocked. I would say Errol. They're saying Errol landed 350 punches. I don't know where punched I saw that. I didn't see that. All right, but the effective punches that Errol landed, I say he had about 5 effective. That's a lot. Effective punches per round. All right, we add that as about 60 punches. So he really landed a lot of effective punches in the fight. I think Mikey, for the entire fight, probably landed 25 effective punches, if so much. All right. So Errol completely outlanded Mikey. But whenever Mikey landed something, it really did have its effect because Errol would back off. All right. He respected Mikey's power. And again, all of these things, I think this is why Errol was saying Mikey was talking too much. I don't think Mikey was talking too much. I think Mikey did the right thing. I mean, if Errol had underestimated Mikey, Derek James, another thing Derek James said, which I thought was really cool and worth noting, is Derek James said that they knew that Mikey had only 3 plans he could employ: counterpunch him, Errol, letting Errol come to him because he's the shorter guy to counterpunch him, or in the center of the ring, get into the inside, being aggressive, getting to the inside. And Mikey tried all 3 things, as you could see. He was successful in some ways with some of them. But like I said before, the one thing Mikey didn't do so much, and I think it's because he was afraid of being caught going in, was getting off the angle, coming in on Errol explosively, like Canelo did. All right. So I think for some reason, I think he did it with Robert Easter Jr., but he did not do it with Errol, which I think is because he respected Errol's power so much and accuracy. And he's afraid of getting caught going in. But he needed to get more inside. Mikey started pushing Errol back in the ninth, the end of the ninth, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th round. And he, to his credit, Errol did catch him with a nice body shot in the 11th round. So there is a risk factor when you, and Errol's pushing him back at that time. There's a risk factor in you doing that. And then Errol can get very, very low and get position on Mikey. All right. So I saw him get position on Mikey as well. So I was looking at that. Again, very technical guys, both of them. A lot of things that Mikey does, Errol does, which is why it was a really good fight, And I would have loved to see if Errol could pull something else out of the tank, because Mikey did make him do a lot of other things and showcase a lot of other things that people had not seen Errol do. And I like that. I like that. And that's to tell you how good Mikey is. Mikey pushed Errol to do more than he normally would. I think, though, that Derek James and Leonard Ellaby are a little bit exaggerating things. I don't think it took anything out of Mikey, that fight. Mikey was fighting to win. Yes, in a fight where you are seemingly dominated, it looks like you don't have a chance of winning, but you just never know. You always have a puncher's chance. And we know this from Gabe Rosado's fight against Solanke. So if you guys... Now, I heard people also trivializing Mikey Garcia's wins against Adrian Broner and against Zlatican. And I thought that was wrong again. As everybody knows, Linares ducked Zlatican. Zlatican was his mandatory, and Linares said, hell no, I ain't facing him, right? And Mikey came and faced him, and, he stopped him. He knocked him out. All right, dude was comatose. All right, and we saw Mikey also face Adrian Broner, and we saw what Mikey did to Adrian Broner. So you cannot trivialize what Mikey is and how good he is. You can't. What you do is you realize how good and great Errol Spence is. And I wish Sean Porter the best of luck with Errol Spence, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see Porter winning that fight against Errol Spence. I just don't. All right, because Errol is that much better than most of the welterweights in that division. Keith Thurman will give him a nice little run. Pacquiao give him a little run, but Errol works off of angles. And once Derek James is training him and letting him respect angles, respect the boxers, give them an uttermost respect. They're always going to have a game plan to beat all those guys. Terrence Crawford's good, but again, it's all about angle of approach. It's all about timing. It's all about how quick you can be into position. It's all about being first. That's what allows you to dictate a fight. And Errol Spence, I mean, if Errol Spence don't know that, Derek James does, and they know how to get him into the conditioning he needs to be able to do those things. That's the mathematics of boxing. And I tell you, the pivoting makes a big difference in boxing. Big difference, you know. So I don't know if Sean Porter learned from his experience with Kell Brook, but Errol Spence, I think, has learned a lot from Kell Brook when Kell Brook used to tag him up and stuff. And I think that Errol right now, he's the goods. Now remember, Kell Brook did not. Let me tell you how good Mikey is. Kell Brook did not go the distance with Errol Spence. Mikey's the first to go the distance. So if you guys think, again, there's a lot of Mikey bashing out there. All right. But if you think that Mikey Garcia is some chump, all right, the dude jump up 2 weight classes. All right. Went the distance Errol Spence. He was outclassed. He was outclassed. It is what it is. All right. Defensively, it was on point, though. Defensively, he was on point. I would say also this. I would say as much as to say that Errol Spence probably would not acknowledge this, but his toughest competition to this day been Mikey Garcia. Mainly because Errol Spence was trying to get him out of there and couldn't get him out of there. I heard Derek James say that motherfucker is tough. And I know why he's saying that. It's not just tough in terms of physical toughness, but mentally he's tough. You know, I heard Derek James say, you have to have somebody standing in front of Mikey for him to beat those people up. I don't think so either. I think once you move in and stuff, it depends on what kind of movement you make. Errol Spence is beautiful with the pivot work. Pivoting. That's better than bouncing because bouncing consumes a lot of energy. Pivoting, and Kell Brook was good with pivoting too. But Errol's like, the pivot work, man. It make a big difference. Learning how to pivot and do things off the pivot. Mikey also knows how to do that. And that's what gives him an advantage in many fights. He's very tricky in how he angles his body. And the only problem with Mikey in this fight was he'd angle his body. He would get the opportunity to throw the shot at Errol, but he would come up short. So, I mean, that's the only problem, but what I was saying is he should have thrown more feints. He did throw a feint, he drew Errol in on a shot, and he could use his pivot work to really get him closer so he could get him. But Errol also stays in balance when he's throwing shots. So even when you miss with Errol, he has a good enough reaction time to pivot back into place. And even though you might get your shot off, he might get a shot at you after that. So it was kind of tricky. So I think that discouraged Mikey from really doing that. But of course, you can't just do it over and over again. Because Errol's smart enough to adjust to that. But that's one of the things I wish he had done more of, because he would have gotten much more shots. And I noticed Mikey was also kind of staying on the cusp on the outside. But anytime Mikey feigned a shot, in the 9th round again, I showed a clip where Mikey was able to get to the center of the ring. He started pushing Errol Spence back. Errol Spence kind of cupped him on the side here with a hook. I think it was a right hook. But he tried to come with an uppercut, and Mikey blocked that one. And then when Errol Spence tried to jab him, Mikey slipped the jab, count Errol Spence, watched Errol Spence, and then he dipped down low as if he was going to land a body shot and pivot out to the center of the ring. I wish he had used more feints. So that's another thing Mikey could have done in the fight, because that's the difference between Errol Spence and Mikey. Errol Spence feint with a hand. Mikey can feint with any part of his body. Mikey got that kind of skill. And I was hearing all of these conflicting reports. Derek James talking about, Mikey never gave up. He was fighting right down to the end. To Paulie Malignaggi saying, Mikey was just fighting to survive. I was hearing all these different statements. But I think Derek James knows. He knows what Mikey can do. I think he appreciates what Mikey is doing. And I think Mikey, we all know Mikey wasn't. He only was in the fight to win. All right. That's why when people say, "Oh, Mikey survived the distance," that's the consolation. Mikey don't care about that. Mikey don't care about no consolation that he survived. He didn't go in there to survive. He went in there to win. All right. All right. You don't tell a boxer who's a winner, "Oh, you did great. You did great. You the guy that lasts the longest." With Errol Spence be looking at you like, "Dude, that's not why I was fighting. I was literally trying to fight to now. I realized I needed to get a Hail Mary or something and connect him with something, but I was looking forward to trying to set that up somehow, some way. So that's why he was doing that. If he didn't feel like it was worth it, he would just quit. But he didn't feel that way. He knows what boxing is. So I say all of that just to say to you guys that you don't have to bash somebody because they lost a fight, or it seems as though they didn't put up enough of a fight in your opinion, in your ignorant opinion, because you're not seeing what's, hey, Tommy Temple, what's up, my dude? Yeah, it's been a while, man. Got a mobile phone, so I'm able to do these streams with the mobile now. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at how people may bash a fight or stuff. I even did it. I write off Gabe Rosado. I thought, Solanke was going to beat him. And then when I looked at what he performed, what he did, he surprised me in the 11th and 12th round. And I forget this is boxing. This is boxing. And while somebody may have a puncher's chance, like Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, we've seen it a couple times, haven't we? Where the underdog does something that we just didn't expect. We just didn't expect that. And my point being that I think, yes, okay, Mikey was outclassed. He was outboxed. Right? He was outboxed. And I would say that in terms of anything else, he wasn't. He hung in there with Spence quite well. But when it comes to trying to navigate past that pesky jab, as we would say, he couldn't get past the jab like he wanted to. All right. I think he underestimated that jab that Errol Spence had. And that was the difference in the fight. The jab. Errol Spence knew how to use the jab. He knew how to keep range. He established it very early in the fight in round one. He also, it's not just the jab, okay? Let me just be honest with you. Errol Spence was doing a lot of things in there to ensure that he kept range. Okay, let me just plug this phone in here. All right, he did a couple things in there to ensure, let me turn this light, to ensure that he kept range. Okay? So, it was really about keeping range and dictating. She was able to do. You charged up? All right, great. Yeah, it's about dictating and keeping range. I'm inside of the studio room, so this is my studio area where I actually chill out and do movies and stuff and all of that, videos and stuff, and music and all that. Yeah, let's show you a little something there. That's my mixing board. You can see it there. Got all the studio stuff in the background, keyboard and stuff. I'll be chilling out in the studio a little bit. So Errol Spence, man, I was saying that. So his pivot work was big. It was big. If it was just that he was throwing a. I thought we were charging. Not charging. Let's see, low battery. Wait. Hold on a second, people. Hold on a second. All right, I was checking. Tommy Temple says Fury's fighting Tom who? Shaking my head. Dude, I don't even know. Gennady Golovkin look like he's gonna be fighting a dud. Wilder's facing Brazil, who's another dud. In my opinion, I'm sorry for writing off Brazil like that, but Fury's fighting another dud. I think the only guy who's really actually doing something. Why are you telling me low battery, man? Yeah, I think the only guy that's actually doing something is Anthony Joshua. He's facing Jarrell Miller. That's not a dud. That's gonna be a good fight. Miller knows what to do to get to the inside of Joshua. So It should be a good fight. It should be a good fight. I'm hoping. Um, yeah. But as I was saying before, you know, I don't want nobody bashing Mikey Garcia. He did very well. Oh yeah, you were saying Mikey bit off more than he could chew. Well, obviously he did, and it wasn't in the way that we think it would have been. We thought it was going to be size and stuff. No, it was boxing IQ actually. Errol Spence had better boxing IQ than Mikey had. He was ready for Mikey, and that's what happened. But like I said, Errol Spence, it wasn't just the jab; it's the jab with the pivot. He's able to, even if you're coming down a different line back up with you pretty quickly, and then he can throw his combinations off his jab. He also had, he moved backwards or forwards with you. He also kept busy so that, you know, he had you occupied with your defense instead of busy trying or occupied with your defense. And then he's strong, so you could counterpunch him, boop boop, hit him two nice flush shots, but he's still gonna keep on relentlessly coming at you still, even though he has to reset first before he can come at you. So in that moment where he's resetting, for example, that's where Mikey was able to just easily throw his jab and then sort of pivot out the way, pivot around. Tommy Temper says, if Mikey was, hold on a second. If Mikey was as tall and as long as Spence, do you think he would have won or done better? Yeah, not so much tall. Errol Spence was actually trying to be lower than him. Um, no, he wouldn't have done that much better because, again, as I said before, Spence brings pivot work with his stuff, and it's all about being first. All right, and even though Mikey tried to be first and he would fall short of his punches, yeah, I could see how you're saying, no, I don't think he would have beaten him still because, let me explain. One of the things, like I said, Mikey was not doing, if he was doing this, he would have had a better chance with Spence, was feinting him before coming in to draw him to make a move. Because Spence wasn't doing a lot of feinting with his body. He was doing it more with his hands. He would jab up top. He would feint as if he's going up top and then come down low. He would feint as if he's going to go low and go high. But for Mikey, Mikey was successful when he'd feint Errol Spence with a punch and then come back with another punch. And another thing, again, Mikey's a little bit more experienced than Errol Spence, so he knew how to do certain things defensively that Errol Spence was not waiting for. Like Errol Spence was opening up the port and really hitting him hitting his arms and stuff. That's stupid. Like that's like Pacquiao versus Mayweather. You're not gonna get points for that. But he was the more active fighter. But I would say that Errol Spence, the thing with Errol Spence is, even when you think you have him, he can pivot out of the way of it. He can go low off the pivot. He can go high off the pivot. He can snap back off the pivot. He can jab off the pivot. So because of that, you could still go down the wrong line with him. And you saw Mikey go down the wrong line with him about once or twice. But again, how Mikey angles his body, Errol Spence couldn't really counterpunch him. Unlike the other inexperienced fighters like Algieri and, what's the other guy? Algieri and, what's his name? Lamont Peterson. So Lamont Peterson was trying to walk Errol Spence down, which was stupid. You don't just stand straight in front of Errol Spence and walk him down. Yeah. Again, he did box also Peterson. But the thing with it is, with Mikey's a little bit more crafty, a little bit more skilled than all those other guys I just mentioned. And so you can't just hit Mikey like that. Right? You can't just hit him like that. So he's kind of tough to just get your shots off of, and because of that, you gotta give Errol mad props for landing certain shots on him. But like I said before, that pivot work makes a big difference in a fight. And even though Crawford, because a lot of people are thinking, well, Crawford might be able to give Spence a run for his money because he's southpaw, orthodox, that kind of thing. No, I'll tell you why. The first thing is, Crawford don't pivot like how Errol pivots, as far as I can remember. All right, and then there's another thing Crawford does I'm not going to talk about. That's sort of a signature mistake he makes in his fights. Tommy Temper says, Mikey fight Lomax at 140? No. Not at 140. If anything, 135. But the problem with it is, Bob Arum. Like I said before, Bob Arum is the problem why this fight cannot happen. Lomachenko's like, oh, just come down to 135, but he won't come down to 135 because he's afraid of me. I'll be like, you talking a bunch of shit, Crawford. You are lined up for you Corolla and then Comey. Where is Mikey's name and all of that? You fight Anthony Corolla and then you're going to fight Richard Comey. That's what you're going to do. So shut the fuck up and stop talking shit about Mikey. Alright? Mikey ain't afraid to face you and he don't have a problem going down to 135. Mikey can make 135. Mikey's one of those rare boxers. He can go up a weight class and then come back down a weight class. Right? He was at 140 and then he came down to 135. He can make 135. Mikey walks around at 150 something. Alright? So Mikey can make 135, but when he comes down to 135, I'm guaranteeing you he will stop Lomachenko. And all that hype about Lomachenko will be over. Okay? He'll stop him. That's what I guarantee you that one. Alright? So I would prefer if Lomachenko shut the fuck up and just forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't use pivot work like how Errol Spence and Mikey use it. Alright? He's like Pacquiao. He shuffles his feet and he bobs in and out, in and out. Mikey will time his ass and he will get knocked the fuck out. I'm just guaranteeing you that. Okay? Loma ducked Pac, man. No, Bob Arum makes his excuses for Loma. Oh, he can't make 140. Oh, he can't make what was he said? He can't make welterweight. I'm like, first of all, Pacquiao was a fucking flyweight. Okay? and Mikey Garcia was a featherweight. Alright? Loma started at featherweight. Loma was a career amateur lightweight. Okay? So don't tell me Loma can't make 140. Don't tell me he can't make welterweight. He can. But you know very well, Bob Arum, that he's actually a flawed fighter. Alright? All that in and out stuff. He flawed. Right? He's a flawed fighter. And just about he gonna get exposed if Mikey face him. Because everybody's saying, oh, Mikey this, Mikey that, Mikey. One thing about Mikey, he got good defense. Very good defense. That's why he can go in with almost anybody and hold his own. Alright? But when it comes to Loma, Loma's defense is not based on what Mikey's defense is. And so Loma likes his defense is mostly distance control. What happens when you come in? We saw a lesser fighter in Linares drop that motherfucker. Drop him. Boop. What do you think Mikey will do to that guy? And Mikey knows angles. Loma has a little quickness in his feet. Right? But I'm telling you now, it's like Pac-Man versus Mayweather. That's what will happen. Except Loma will get comatose. I guarantee you that one. Loma want to fight with Mikey Garcia. Please, man. Come on, man. Now, if Mikey faces Pac-Man, that would be a better fight. It's Pac-Man being a welterweight for a while. You know? But at the end of the day, you know, Loma versus Mikey. Now you want to kill Loma. You want Loma to die. You want to see Loma. You want to see Loma dead. Because Mikey going to kill him. You gonna kill his ass. I'm telling you. You remember what happened to Zlatan? Mikey gonna do that to Loma. He'll do it to Loma. Pac versus Spence prediction. Spence wins by unanimous decision. Yeah. Spence beats Pac-Man. He ain't gonna knock him out. He ain't gonna stop him. All that man down stuff on retirement ain't gonna happen. But Pac-Man, if he couldn't knock out Mikey Garcia because of his inexperience, throwing all those combinations and stuff, he's not going to stop Manny Pacquiao. It's just not going to happen. And Pacquiao's a lot smarter than he used to be before the Marquez fight. He's not as reckless, so that ain't happening. And Pacquiao's not an easy guy to hit, really, if you really pay attention. And Floyd's very good at what he does. Floyd can hit Pacquiao flush all the time. He was catching him smack with certain shots, but he's not really catching him like you think you would catch him, you know. So I think he could have KO'd Garcia but played it safe. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. He was trying to kill Garcia. He even said it. He said, I tried to run him over in the fourth round, and he wasn't budging. He said, then I tried to get him in the seventh, it didn't work. I tried to get him in the ninth, it didn't work. I tried to get him in the 11th, it didn't work. Yeah, and in fact, if you think about it, Garcia started walking him down from round 9 to round 12. Garcia was walking down Spence. That's right. Getting him on the ropes and landing body shots. Right? Because, and he saw the determination in Garcia. And Garcia knew after the 9th round, he said, man, I got to get this motherfucker out of there somehow. I gotta try and set him up for a shot. So that was what he was trying to do. He took the 9th off, and then he was trying to KO. Oh, fuck yeah. Garcia's got much better defense than Brook. Brook don't block punches. Brook don't block punches. Brook don't ride punches. Why do you think Brook's eye orbital got messed up? He wasn't riding the punch properly. He rolls punches. He roll it this way and that way. But he's not. No, Garcia's better than Brook, clearly. But Spence, like I said before, Spence had a better performance against Garcia than he had against Brook. Yeah, he blocks punches with his face, man. He blocked punches with his face. He get hit flush. What Brook do is try to clinch you up. Because Brook have no inside game. Mikey got inside game. If you look at Mikey's angle a certain way, very rarely Spence landed something on the inside with Mikey. In fact, very rarely Spence landed body punches on Mikey, which is the irony of the situation. Spence is known as a body puncher. But what a lot of guys were saying, which is true, this is absolutely true, it's part of Mikey's game plan, was Mikey had to keep his hands at home a lot more, mainly because he was trying to block most of the shots that Spence was throwing on him. He knew that Spence was a body puncher, so he was protecting his body quite well. It's kind of like when Floyd was trying to get Robert Guerrero out of there, and Robert Guerrero just protected his body very, very well. And Floyd was like, man, I can't get to the body. I just can't get to his body. He's protecting his body very well. So Mikey was doing that very well against Spence, which is why Mikey was in there. Otherwise, Spence would have done chop him up already. You should get a job as a boxing analyst. Nah, bro. Look, man. Let me tell you 2 reasons why I wouldn't do that. 1, I never boxed before. How can I be a fucking boxing analyst and I haven't even had a professional fight as a boxer or amateur background? I would never do something like that. You know, I'm just a fan. The other thing is, I would say that even though what I prefer to do is like what I'm doing now is talk to people to educate the fans on boxing, and then I tell people to go to certain channels where they teach boxing to go watch what it is with boxing and get yourself involved in that. I started back training a little bit, try to get myself back in the groove. It's a lot of work. I sweat plenty. I need to drink a lot of water. You really feel good. You feel healthy doing the training. Boxing training is the best training in the world. You get ridiculous cardio. And I suggest anybody, you could get yourself into a gym or something and just start training. It's great, man. It's great for you. But in terms of me being a boxing analyst, I can't be that. I never fucking boxed in my life. How the hell am I going to be a boxing analyst? You know what I mean? You know, it's disrespectful because there's so much to the guys who actually box. Which leads me to another point. There's this narrative that, you know, Mikey was being disrespectful to Errol Spence. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? What? Errol Spence is this big bully and Mikey can't say nothing? Mikey can't be confident about his skills and say he better than Spence? If you want to say that, let him say it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to say that he's better than Spence, why couldn't say that? He's not saying it now. He's not saying it now. But the point is that, you know, he wasn't being disrespectful to Spence. And then the people who picked Mikey was being disrespectful. Get the fuck out of here. People can pick whoever the fuck they want to pick. You know what's disrespectful? What's disrespectful is after the fact, looking at Mikey and starting to say, oh, he was just a boring fighter. He's nothing. Look how afraid he was to go in and Spence. Like a bullshit like that. That's disrespectful. A man's a 4-divisional world fucking champion. So don't disrespect the guy. Another guy was like, you know, they have weight classes for a reason. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Dude can stay at welterweight if he wants to. It's just that he got outboxed. Outboxed. When Spence tried to bully him and be the big bully, Mikey responded to, and Spence had to respect that shit. Okay? When he was trying to get him in the ropes and beat on him, and Mikey counterpunched his ass, he backed the fuck off. You know why? because he respected what Mikey had and the power. In fact, his coach Derek James even said, Mikey, if you stay in front of fucking Mikey, he will blow your ass out. That's what Derek James said. He knows Mikey has power. Okay? So it's not like Mikey didn't have power. It's that he got outboxed. And Mikey's a fucking good boxer. That's all I'm saying. You know, sorry about that. You know, I use an F-bombs. I'm sorry about that. But what I'm just saying is, he's a good boxer. So if Spence outboxed Mikey, think about what I'm saying now. He outboxed Mikey. He outboxed Mikey. That's crazy. Mikey's a damn good boxer. All right. He beat up Kell Brook. It was a little bit more of a toe-to-toe thing, and Kell Brook did hurt him a couple times. Well, he beat the brakes off of Kell Brook. Okay, he was beating him up going down the stretch. I mean, beat the brakes on him. You know what I'm saying? Lamont Peterson didn't last. They had to quit. Okay, beat the shit out of Lamont Peterson. He beat that guy. He beat him like he was like, you know what? I'm gonna beat you. Cause it's like you raped my sister. I'll beat you your ass. You know, it was a bad beating. Beat down Lamont Peterson. Okay? They had to stop the fight. Lamont Peterson's face was a mess. It was a bloody mess. Okay? And Lamont Peterson, he couldn't do no more. He was just taking a beating after a while. He stopped blocking punches and he was just getting beat up. Right? And I'm just saying, this is not a tough man contest. It's called boxing. Alright? And beat up Chris Algieri. I mean, Chris Algieri got banged and he fell to the ground. You know, Lamont Peterson went to the ground. You know, Kell Brook went to the ground. All right, I'm talking about those were real beatings. Okay, Mikey, didn't ever happen. It didn't happen. I told people. I said I don't know about how the outcome of the fight would be. I thought it was going to be closer. It was a shutout. But and Mikey was trying all the way through. It's not like it's just offensively, like I said before, he couldn't he couldn't get it. And Mikey was saying, he even went to his corner, I was like, I just can't hit this dude. I just can't get him. So you know, he wanted to go all the way to the 12 rounds because he was trying to figure out how to get to this guy. He was trying everything he possibly could. He tried to fight on the inside. He tried to fight him by shifting the angles on him. He tried to push him to the center ring, push him to the ropes and work him. And the dude just seems to be like he wasn't getting the shots he wanted to get on him. So that's why I told you got to box Mikey. And I think Mikey's going to go to the drawing board and learn from that experience a lot. He's going to learn a lot of stuff from that experience. Because Errol Spence showed composure, timing, distance control. You know, he showed a lot of shit, man. I was very impressed by his performance. And the key here is, even though he was trying to get Mikey out of there, which was never going to happen, he's going to need those skills later on when he starts facing tougher competition. You know, and you would assume because Mikey came up from lightweight, his most recent fight, that Errol Spence would have his way with him. That did not happen. It wasn't quite like that. He was able to box him and get certain shots in on him and be more active than him, so he won the fight. But there wasn't much difference between them if you really think about it, other than I think he about twice to 3 times as many shots he landed on Mikey than Mikey landed on him. Mikey was throwing shots, but it was coming up short. So that's the difference. It wasn't so much whether Mikey's defense wasn't good or if you know. Bud versus Spence. Who you got? I got Spence. All day, all day, all day. I was trying to explain to you guys, pivoting makes a difference. The pivot work makes a difference. Bud's great, but I don't think Bud beats Spence. I don't think so. Tell you why I don't have Bud. There's a couple reasons why I don't have Bud. The first one is Bud ain't fought nobody that makes me think that he could beat Errol Spence. So until I see Bud fight somebody credible, let me rephrase that. Not credible, because there's a lot of credible fighters he faced, but somebody who's in the upper echelon of boxing. The only guy I saw him fight against was Gamboa, and Gamboa rocked his ass a couple times. And Gamboa is a small dude. Gamboa of late has lost a couple fights as well. And Gamboa rocked his ass. So Errol Spence never really impressed me. The best, not Errol Spence, I mean Terrence Crawford. He never impressed me like how everybody's impressed by him, and exaggerate him, and call him pound for pound number one. I'm like, for what? From beating Victor Postol, for beating some African dude who don't have no defense whatsoever, for beating who did he beat at welterweight? Who did he beat? Oh, Jeff Horn, for beating Jeff Horn. Like, get the fuck out of here. That was the weakest welterweight champion out of all of them. He beat Jeff Horn. He stopped him. So what? Like, don't give a fuck about Jeff Horn. And then he beat who's the guy? Chris Algieri. Come on, man. Chris Algieri's an okay fighter, but I mean, he ain't top echelon. Now he gonna face Amir Khan, who's not even in the top 10 welterweights. Not even in the top 15 welterweights. Not even in the top 20 welterweights. He might as well have fought Andre fucking Berto. You're gonna get a better fight. You know what I'm saying? I think he also faced Jose Benavidez. Jose Benavidez is a good fighter, but he's not top tier. He's not top tier. He's not fucking top tier. I don't give a fuck if Jeff Horns is a light middleweight. I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because guess what? It's just more meat to beat. He's a fucking punching bag. He's a punching bag on a pongo stick. Okay? He got a win over Manny Pacquiao. Good for him. Wish Manny Pacquiao could rematch his ass so we could get the entire fight being round 9. That's what it's supposed to be. Have you been strong on the Guinness today? No. I'm just... Sometimes... All right, so... I'm just saying that... I'm sorry about the F-bombs. I'm just saying that when you look at Jeff Horn... Who is Jeff Horn? Who has Jeff Horn beat? Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, okay. Other than that, nobody, right? He was the guy that made his name off of Manny Pacquiao. Let's just put it that way, right? In a rematch with Manny Pacquiao get his ass out of there. He would knock him out, all right? I'm actually laughing as he talks smack, love. I'm just saying because Jeff Horn. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I'm just saying he's not top echelon. He's not elite. He's not an elite boxer. All right? Take Terrence Crawford's resume and compare it to Danny Garcia's resume. Danny Garcia gets a lot of flack in boxing, right? Oh, Danny Garcia, cherry picker, blah, 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 right? Okay. Let's look at Danny Garcia's resume and let's look at Terrence Crawford's resume, right? Terrence Crawford fought Ricky Burns, right? Ricky Burns. This is these marquee names. And Yuriorkis Gamboa. That's it. All the other names are great. They're great. They're all right. But when we talk about guys who are multiple weight champions, we're talking about guys who have proven themselves in the sport of boxing and made a name for themselves. He only fought two fighters like that. Okay? Chris Algieri, you can't even say that because he was a super lightweight world champion. He got knocked down 6 times by Manny Pacquiao. Chris Algieri is 5'11". Manny Pacquiao is 5'3". You got a little guy like that knocking your ass down 6 times. So now you meet a guy 5'9" around your weight. Okay, you was outboxing him for about piece of a round before your ass get dropped. But you somehow feel you're a hero, and you somehow think Errol Spence is Amir Khan, and you could just take the fight to him. So what happens to him? He gets beat bad, right? Because that just gets stopped. Follow the game fucking plan. Now, the difference between him and a Danny Garcia is Danny Garcia is very precise with his defense and with his footwork. Because boxing's not about how quick you are. It's not how fast you are. It's not how much you can run around the ring. It's about footwork, placement, and defense. Fucking defense. I keep on saying that over and over. Defense. You have to have defense. You could throw that. You could throw Mikey Garcia anyway. I was just talking about Danny. Don't mix up Danny with Mikey, right? Now I'm talking about Mikey, right? You could throw Mikey into almost any situation. He's going to do his thing in there. He's not going to be able probably to land punches on you, but he's going to stay with you and he's going to stick around in the fight. And if you lapse in any way, he's going to make you pay because he's got defense. That's why he didn't come out the ring with a bust up face and bloody nose and mouth and eyes and mashed up ribs and pop ribs and pissing blood and all that shit. Mikey's not going to have a problem because Mikey has fucking defense. That's what makes the difference. So he could come up from lightweight, face the best welterweight in the world, big, strong welterweight, and he easily makes it through the 12 rounds with that welterweight. His problem was offense. Hey, Algieri was weight drained for Pac at 143 pounds. Doesn't matter. Jesse Vargas faced Manny Pacquiao, got his ass dropped. He did well against Manny Pacquiao, don't get me wrong, but he got his ass dropped. Timothy Bradley, that strong Timothy Bradley, right, got his ass dropped twice by Manny Pacquiao, right? My point being, Manny Pacquiao is a fucking beast. Manny Pacquiao is not tall. You are taller than Manny Pacquiao. I am taller than Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is taller than my dad. My dad was 5'6". Manny Pacquiao is diminutive. He could be your child in height. He's small. And that motherfucker will hit you in a fight. You think, oh, I'm tall, I got range, I got reach. Nope. Pacquiao will get to your ass. Pacquiao got to Floyd Mayweather's ass in round 4 and round 6. He's quick. And he's a counterpuncher. He'll get you. And you would be, everybody say, oh, Pacquiao, he always leaping through the air and he's reckless. No, he spring loads. What I mean by that is, you see how big his feet are, right? He spring loads. He can't cover the ground any other way. He's too small. So he has to spring load on you. And he'll launch at you and he'll get you with the shot. That motherfucker is sick. Okay? Manny Pacquiao is sick. Okay? And yeah, he was juicing and stuff. That is true. He was juicing. That is true. I won't lie to you. But there's a lot of boxers out there that juiced. Oh, you say he juiced for the third fight with Timothy Bradley? No. He boxed him. Nah, he wasn't juiced. Pacquiao don't use juice anymore. He don't be on the juice. He was on the juice probably early in his career, around 2009, 2008, 2007, that kind of shit. He probably was juicing. But after that, no. That's why Marquez probably KO'd his ass. I think that was probably the last time he juiced. Marquez matched him with juicing too. Marquez juiced. It's like, oh, you motherfucker, you juicing? All right, I'll juice too. Marquez knocked his ass out cold. But again, even though both of them were juicing, well, Marquez was like, this motherfucker, I do everything. I beat his ass in the third fight. He's like, I beat his ass in the third fight. These motherfuckers won't let me win this guy. Okay, I gotta knock his ass out. He started juicing. He's like, I gotta knock this motherfucker out. Ooh. And so, oh, that's funny, man. Because when you think about it, right, Pacquiao was on the juice too, so it was like fair fight. We need to even the playing field. And Marcus was practicing that. He was practicing that punch. I heard he was knocking out sparring partners. Oh my God. Oh, my eyes are red. That was so funny. Marcus was practicing. That was not a lucky shot. Oh my God. That was not a lucky shot. Marcus was practicing to knock his ass out. Marcus is like, these motherfuckers won't give me the decision. I'm going to have to take this into my own hands. Oh yeah, he caught Pacquiao off guard, but that's not going to happen again though. Best punch of his career. He retired from boxing after. Juan Manuel Marquez, Pacquiao's like, I want a fifth fight. Marquez like, fuck no. Oh God, that's so funny. Uh, Pacquiao and Marquez. Marquez is like, I get the last laugh. Oh my God. It's so hilarious. Yeah, Juan Manuel Marquez, man. uh, the guy who finally beat Pacquiao by knockout. Yeah, but yeah, I don't think Pacquiao is juicing anymore. I think and he's so. What I like about him is he's improved as a fighter. He's improved as a boxer. He still got everything he had in 2009, 2008, but now he does it with a sort of poise. So he's not like throwing a billion punches for no reason at all and wasting a whole bunch of energy. You know, he's very kind of strategic with what he does. He's still explosive the same way. And I think that's remarkable. For an age of 40, you're still being able to do that shit. I would love to see him against Errol Spence. Uh, I really, you might be right. You know, there's a lot of boxers who are using a lot of things. Maybe it's not EPO. Maybe it's something else that's probably the boxing organizations haven't come to speed with, and it's not looked at as a performance enhancer. Maybe something not natural, something natural that works like an EPO, and probably therefore doesn't have adverse effects on your body and still gives you that edge. Because I know for a fact Floyd Mayweather was playing around with a lot of stuff. You know, those things for healing your cuts and naturopathic stuff that was heal your cuts and wounds really rapidly. These guys are really health conscious. So like Floyd and those guys, they wouldn't have EPOs per se, like, but they would use natural things. Timothy Bradley used a lot of natural products as well, which give you, enhance your performance. It literally enhances your performance. They are PEDs, but they're not considered PEDs. So they're performance enhancing drugs to get you to tip top shape. So I think Floyd and especially vitamins. I'm serious. Vitamins, when you know what you use, the right vitamins naturopathically and put it into your bloodstreams. You know, my mom, when she had cancer, we were going to give her vitamin C and all the other vitamins and stuff, which were literally, and certain things put into a bloodstream to actually reverse the effects of the cancer and cause it to go into remission because it directly goes into the stream. And I think Floyd was messing around with that kind of stuff, and I think guys like Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao, they started messing around with that stuff. So instead of using synthetics, which are substandard, and on top of that, they banned them for being performance enhancing, they just use foods. EPO tricks the body into making a lot more red blood cells, better endurance. But you have natural things, Tommy Temper, that could do that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Increase your platelet count. For instance, pawpaw leaves. Pawpaw leaves increase your blood platelet count. Something called soursop leaves increases your red blood cell count. So you can use naturopathic things which will do the same thing that EPO is doing, but better without actually having the side effects of using an EPO. So that's why I said, if they're using normal food, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? Oh, you can't use pawpaw leaves. You can't use soursop bush. You know what I mean? So there's naturopathic things that actually have the effect of healing. When my mom she had fell and bruised her eye and stuff, we gave her some naturopathic stuff that healed up her eye rather quickly. The naturopathics, I would advise people, if you have cancer or any kind of illness, diabetes or whatever, really the best possible way to treat your body is naturopathically. I would not suggest chemo, especially if you're going to hospitals in my country. I do not suggest chemo at all. Chemo killed my mom. It killed my mom. We were trying to bring her back and stuff, and that was one of the contributors that killed her. And then they went back. I had certain members of my family who were proponents of certain things, and they got her back in the hospital, and she really plummeted. When she was home here by us, we were keeping her in stasis. We were helping her to recover. I still am devastated about that, but when it comes to naturopathically, I suggest that you obviously you'll have to still use conventional medicine for different illnesses and stuff, you're still going to have to use the conventional meds. They're temporary. They're temporary relief of symptoms. Some of them are also temporary fixers of problems. But you really want long-term solutions. And generally speaking, that's based on your nutritionally speaking, naturopathically, and then lifestyle wise, you have to make sure your lifestyle also also. And say if you're an outdoor person, you like to go moving around, you like to use energy, then you use foods also that supplement that help you. Boxers, a lot of boxers really eat a lot of healthy stuff. Floyd's really a proponent of naturopathic medicine. So you'll hear Floyd talk a lot about that and with his uncle Roger and so on and what they're trying to mess around with. And since they're near to California and stuff, Nevada's near to California. Californians are very, very health conscious. And recently this morning I was watching a program. And without saying too much, but I was watching athletes. I was looking at the CrossFit trainer people. I was looking at even some entertainers, what you call them, actors and so on. And these people try to proponents of healthy living. Try a lot of them live longer because they're using healthy living. It's all about being healthy, man. You know, even Snack with Victor Conte, they're really pushing on you having a healthy lifestyle, healthy living, and they've found naturopathic things which they use as supplements because they're called supplements, and they give you that. Now, you know, we don't want to go into to the illegal sides of things, so hopefully they're not doing that. But you don't have to be illegal anymore. Like the cutting edge stuff, that's what you need to go at, and that's what Floyd did. So there's a lot of things better than EPO now out there. A lot of things. When I had a disease, I had this disease where you get very, very sick and then stuff start coming out on your skin. It's kind of like malaria. It's kind of like dengue, hemorrhagic fever, something like that. I just used purple leaves, and I didn't get weak. I didn't get the pain in my joints severely. I could move around, function, talk with people and stuff. My skin though was still kind of red and bumpy, but other than that, I was good. And I tell you, man, naturopathic medicine is the way to go. So there's a lot of things you can use in naturopathic. I'm a very strong proponent of people who use natural means, but you have to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you can kill yourself faster. So, you know. But it's nice talking with you, Tommy Temper. Shout out to you and shout out to everybody else. It's 107 where I am living in the tropics. Beautiful weather, slightly overcast. Looks like it's going to rain a little bit. I got to go run some errands again. It was nice talking with you guys. I wish you guys